In the heart of Nkumbo, a small but ancient village surrounded by thick forests and rolling hills, lived an old woman named Mama Ikini. She was the village healer, known for her wisdom and stories, but most of all, for her fierce love for her granddaughter, Amara. Amara was young, full of life, and known for her rebellious spirit. She often challenged the traditions and beliefs that had been passed down through generations. Unlike the other village girls who listened to their elders without question, Amara always demanded an explanation, refusing to accept things at face value. One afternoon, as she prepared to wash her clothes, Mama Akin called her inside their small hut. The air was thick with the scent of herbs and burning wood. "Amara!" the old woman began, her voice firm but gentle. "Where are you going with that bundle?" "To the Odo River," Amara answered without looking up. "The well is too crowded, and I don't want to wait." Mama Akin's expression darkened. She took a deep breath and sat down, motioning for Amara to do the same. "You must never go to that river, child. It is not a place for us." Amara sighed, folding her arms. "Grandmother, this again? Everyone in the village uses the river." Mama Akina shook her head. "Not for washing. Fetching water is one thing, but staying too long, washing your clothes there, that is when it calls to you." Amara scoffed. "Calls to me? Grandmother, it's just water." Mama Akin's aged hands trembled as she reached for Amara's. "Years ago, a girl just like you went to wash at that river. She never returned." "What happened to her?" Amara asked, rolling her eyes. "She was swallowed," Mama Akina whispered. "Some say the water took her. Others say the spirits beneath it did. But one thing is certain. Her laughter was heard in the wind for days after she vanished." Amara shook her head, smiling slightly. "Grandmother, you have the best stories." "This is not a story," Mama Akin said, her grip tightening. "Promise me you will not go there." Amara hesitated. She hated seeing her grandmother so afraid, but at the same time, she couldn't ignore the urge to prove the old woman wrong. "I promise," she said. But deep inside, she had already made up her mind. The next morning, while Mama Akin was busy grinding herbs in the backyard, Amara grabbed her bundle of clothes and slipped out of the hut. The sun was bright, and the village was alive with the sounds of people talking, children laughing, and birds singing in the trees. As she made her way toward the Odo River, Amara felt a strange excitement. She had never been one to believe in ghost stories or superstitions. The idea of a river swallowing people seemed ridiculous to her. When she reached the water, she hesitated for a brief moment. The river was calm, the surface reflecting the blue sky like a mirror. The trees around it swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves rustling softly. She smiled to herself. "See? Just a river." Kneeling by the edge, she dipped her hands into the cool water and began scrubbing her clothes against a flat rock. The sound of water splashing was soothing, and she quickly lost herself in the rhythm. Minutes passed, and nothing strange happened. No voices, no eerie feelings, just the peaceful silence of nature. "I knew it," she muttered under her breath. She worked faster, eager to finish before her grandmother noticed she was gone. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw something move. A small ripple spread across the water, even though she had not touched that part of the river. She paused, looking around. The breeze had stopped. The birds had gone silent. For the first time, a small shiver ran down her spine. But she quickly shook it off. The wind, probably, she told herself. She continued washing, unaware that the river was watching her. As Amara scrubbed the last piece of fabric, a faint sound reached her ears. A whisper. She stopped, her hands freezing in place. The whisper was soft, almost like the wind through the trees, but the words, they were clear. "Amara!" Her heart skipped a beat. She looked around, expecting to see another villager nearby, but she was alone. Then she heard it again. Amara, why do you not listen?" This time, the voice was unmistakably coming from the water. She felt her body tense. Slowly, hesitantly, she leaned forward and looked into the river. What she saw made her blood run cold. Just below the surface, staring up at her, were dozens of pale eyes. They blinked in unison. Amara gasped and stumbled backward, her clothes forgotten in the water. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. The eyes were still there, watching her. Then, the water stilled, and the eyes faded away. Had she imagined it? She rubbed her face, her breath coming in quick gasps. Maybe it was just a trick of the light. Shaking her head, she grabbed her wet clothes and ran back toward the village. By the time Amara reached home, she was sweating and out of breath. Mama Akin took one look at her and knew something was wrong. "You went to the river," the old woman said quietly. Amara nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I'm sorry, grandmother. I should have listened." Mama Akin pulled her into a tight embrace. "Did it speak to you?" Amara hesitated before whispering, "Yes." The old woman sighed heavily and guided Amara inside. She lit a small fire and threw herbs into the flames, letting the fragrant smoke fill the room. "You are lucky to have returned," she said. "The river does not always let people go." Amara swallowed hard. What does it want?" Mama Akin gazed into the fire. "The spirits beneath the water are restless. They call out to those who do not heed warnings." Amara shuddered. For the first time in her life, she truly understood the weight of her grandmother's words. Some warnings were not meant to be ignored. Days passed, but Amara could not forget what she had seen. The pale eyes beneath the water haunted her dreams, and the whispering voice echoed in her mind. She avoided the river completely, but fear clung to her like a shadow. Mama Akina noticed the change in her granddaughter. One evening, as they sat outside under the moonlight, the old woman spoke. "You have learned fear, but have you learned wisdom?" Amara looked up, confused. "I don't understand, grandmother." Mama Akin stirred the pot of soup over the fire. "Fear alone is useless. It makes you hide. But wisdom teaches you how to walk safely. What have you learned from this?" Amara was silent for a long moment. Finally, she said, "That warnings exist for a reason." Mama Akin nodded. "Yes, but also that some things are beyond our understanding. We must respect them, even if we do not believe in them." Amara frowned. "But why does the river take people?" The old woman sighed. "Some say the spirits in the water were once like us, stubborn, proud, unwilling to listen. They ignored the warnings, and now they are trapped, waiting for others to make the same mistake." A chill ran down Amara's spine. "Will they come for me?" Mama Akin smiled gently. "Not if you live wisely. The river calls to those who do not listen, but you, my child, have heard its warning and returned." Amara bowed her head. "I will never go near the Odo River again." The old woman nodded in approval. "Good. But the real lesson is this. In life, there are many rivers. Some are made of water, some of words, some of choices. Listen before you step in. Not every river is safe to cross." Amara thought deeply about her grandmother's words. She now understood that wisdom was not just about hearing warnings, it was about choosing to follow them. From that day on, she became a different person. No longer reckless, no longer dismissive of the wisdom of the elders. She carried the lesson of the talking river with her, teaching others that some dangers do not come with second chances. And so, the news of Amara spread through the whole village. Everyone learned that the boundaries set by the elders were to keep them safe and not to restrict them. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Kindly subscribe, like, and share for more.